Hello, everybody. So I think I finally got this figured out, and I have been wanting to jump online all week long. It's just been like burning inside of me. I've had a lot going on, and I haven't had any time to really fit this in. So I'm super grateful that I am able to do this now and be here with you. If you are here with me live, please let me know that the sound is working and that you're here with me and you can engage with me, because this is a new system I'm using and I would really like to know if you are here. So write me a comment and give me some hearts and some likes if you are able to listen. If you're able to hear me, give me a thumbs up, and then I'll know I hear you loud and clear. Yay. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Erin. I'm so glad that you are both joining. I'm sure that you both know, and anyone else who's going to be joining us in the time period that I am online, is that this has been a really intense week. These are very intense times. And so I just wanted to jump on and be of service to support you in any way that I can, to hear from you, to hear what's been coming up for you. I know that for all of my clients, this has been a very intense time. There's been a lot of unrest. There's this feeling of being unsettled. There's been a feeling of angst and fear. And I believe that a lot of deep old wounds have been re-traumatized with the events in Charlottesville, with the recent events in Barcelona. There is a lot of pain and wounding in the collective right now. Hi, Trey. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is new for me, so I'm learning how to do this. I want to look at you and I want to look at the comments and what I'm talking about. There's a lot of emotion. Sorry. These are really intense times. You have to, and as many tools as I have, I am having to get really good at surfing. I'm having to learn to ride the waves of emotions, because I'm processing so much of the pain and the heartache and the frustration and the sadness of so many people around the planet. I'm very sensitive, I'm very empathetic, I'm very intuitive, and I'm in tune with so much of this collective energy that is up right now for so many people. And it's been an intense week, and I've had to pull out all of my tools and all of my tricks, and I've had to be extra loving and kind and gentle to myself so that I can be of service, so that I can show up here for you and share these tools with you as well, so that you can get better at surfing, get better at riding these cosmic waves that we are having to ride together. It's very turbulent right now. We are being massively supported astrologically to bring all of this stuff up to light. So if you have felt this week a feeling of being unsettled, if you felt angst, if you have felt fear, if you have felt sadness, if you have been reverting back in your evolution, write in the comments below and let me know how things have been going for you, so that I can hear from you as well and just be able to support you specifically. So some of the things that I've noticed for people, including myself, is that I've been taking things more personally. I have been jumping to conclusions or making assumptions. I've been allowing myself to get more irritated or frustrated. Well, this was happening sort of end of last weekend, beginning of the week, until I realized what was kind of going on, what was being stirred up in the collective. And I posted to my Soul on Fire tribe group, which is a Facebook group that I have, and I'd love to invite you all to join me. And I post a lot of inspiring and empowering content there, and I'm going to be doing a lot more Facebook Lives in that group to support you with specifically what you're going through. Like Erin, you're saying you've been struggling to stay present, feeling exhausted and out of your body. I totally agree. It has been very challenging, and the best thing I could recommend for you to do for that is to take moments where you get outside and connect to nature, literally connecting to the ground, connecting to the earth, feeling and allowing the earth's energy to support you and lifting you up, going and hugging a tree, imagining the deep roots of that tree, And actually, this last week, I recorded a new guided meditation, and it's pretty incredible. And it takes you on a journey to connect to a tree, in a redwood tree in the redwood forest. And it is very grounding. It's extremely powerful. And I'd be happy to share that with you. Just let me know if you want access to that meditation, and I'll give you a private link to do the meditation. So that would be something that you could do for yourself. Some other tools, as Amy said, peace begins with me. That's a mantra that you can use in your hands. And I teach this to children. I teach this to all of my clients. So it's literally just bringing your thumb and your forefinger together and saying, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. So everybody just do this with me for a moment. Just peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. So just taking a moment to feel that. Peace begins with me. And not only energetically, vibrationally, as you're doing this mudra with your hands, as you're repeating this mantra, that you're invoking the energy of the words as well, and really owning that, claiming that, and listening to what it means to be in a place of awareness where you know that peace begins with me. And so just using that as a very simple tool to calm yourself down and to get grounded again when you're feeling all of the overwhelm and all of the chaos and all of the angst and all of the fear and all of the shadows being stirred up inside of you. So just going to peace begins with me is a super simple practice. Getting outside and taking moments to connect to the earth is so, so, so important. There's plenty of research out there right now about the practice of earthing. So earthing is literally connecting to a conducive surface of the earth, getting outside, getting your feet in the sand, getting your feet in the grass, getting your feet in the water, getting your feet in the dirt, connecting consciously, intentionally, connecting to the earth, just laying on the ground for 5 minutes and allow all of your energy to drain out of your body, all of the exhaustion, all of the stress, all of the overwhelm. Connect to the earth. Another great thing to do is to go on a hike and get out with the trees and walk through the trees and connect to the trees. Let the fresh oxygen of the trees soothe you. And there's a practice called forest bathing in Japan. And Byron, maybe you've heard of it, or maybe you've experienced it there since you've been there, is to go out into a forest and be bathed by the energy of the forest. And they're studying that scientifically and the effects of that on the body. So that's another practice that you can do to help you get grounded and to stay grounded. And obviously, if you've been with me for a while, you know how much I believe in the power of meditation. And so use your tools. The crazy thing is, when we're in an intense time like this, what are the first things to go? Most often, they are our most helpful tools, right? So we stop meditating, we stop eating healthy, we stop exercising, maybe we don't get enough rest, or maybe we're oversleeping, who knows? And we go back to some of our old habits that are distracting and numbing and avoiding and running, like binge watching Netflix or eating unhealthy or drinking more than we normally would. And we're just trying to numb because it's too much. It feels like too much. And so when you've got that feeling of overwhelm and too much, and your stress response is kicking in, and you're either fighting, defending, arguing, outrage, anger, violence, when that's going on, that's one of the stress responses, or you're freezing and you're wanting to completely shut the world out and become a hermit and put the covers over your head and give the world the finger. Like, you're doing one of these things when the stress response is super activated or triggered inside of you. So, or you're fleeing. You're like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to hear. I'm not going to listen. I'm just going to completely avoid all of this. So if any of those stress responses are happening in your life, you want to activate the opposite, which is the relaxation response. And so you do that by going and getting a massage or taking a long hot bath. Do lots of Epsom salt baths right now if you can, because the Epsom salt helps to drain all of the negative energy out of your body. And literally imagine that all of this exhaustion and all of the fear is being drained out of your body, and it's going out the drain when the drain is let out. So just imagine that as well. So you've been checked out in a hermit. Yeah, we all have these different ways of processing this stress. It is a lot. It's heavy. I mean, I couldn't get on here without starting to cry and break down myself because there's so much energy. And Trey, yay, you've been massaging Aaron. You're the best. That is so awesome. A husband that buys a massage table for Christmas so that he can massage his wife. Bonus points, Trey. So you keep massaging her. Massage each other. And or go get a massage if you can. Just do something to get back in your body. Move your body soulfully. Turn on music that helps you to move, because the worst thing you can do is get stagnant and not move. So if your response is the freeze mode, which means that you are a hermit, you're overwhelmed, you're pulling the covers over your head, you're shutting the world out, then what you need to do is get yourself moving. So move your body, turn on your favorite song, listen to One Tribe, listen to by Black Eyed Peas, or listen to Pharrell Williams' Happy, or, just get up and start moving your body. Whatever type of soulful music is going to help you to get your energy flowing, because you want to then get moving. Go for a run, do something to get your body moving, because that energy is stuck inside of you and you want it to move through you. And the only way you can do that is through moving your physical body or going and getting a massage. That's great, Amy, that you're getting a massage tomorrow. I'm so glad. So when you're in your massage, just really intentionally allow yourself to release, to breathe and receive. So every breath you take, just imagine yourself getting lighter. Just imagine everything that's been stressing you out being released. Just allow the massage strokes to soothe you and to release any stress or tension that is inside of you. As you go into your massage, the more intentional that you are with it, the greater the benefit will be. So if you feel like you've got a lot of, or Reiki is great, hi, so good to see you here. And if you feel like you have a lot of pent up energy, which I was at a talk last week, Friday, there was 185 people with Elizabeth Cronus McLaughlin, and we were speaking about all the things that are going on in the world today, and especially in America and in our politics. And there was a lot of pent up energy in the room, and I could feel this ball of energy inside of people, that it's like this energy doesn't know where to go. It doesn't know how to be released. There's so much anger. There's so much frustration. There is so much, rightfully so. People are outraged, but I want to invite you to allow this energy to move through you instead of letting it stay stuck inside of you. And so much fear is getting triggered, because we know, Amy, you and I know this from our teachings and our spiritual teachers, that it is either fear or love. We are either coming from fear or love. And all of the things that we're seeing in the world today that are happening are coming from a place of fear. And what that really is a call for love. And so we have to get to the place where we can transcend our own fears, our own prejudices, our own hate, our own confusion, our own separation from other people, and return back to love. And so before we can do that, we have to realize that this intensity of these emotions, this energy that is building up inside of you, that has been building up inside of you for probably a very long time. And if anything, last year and all the events of last year all of this energy got stirred up, and it feels to me very similar energetically to how I felt in December of last year. So it had been building throughout the election process. And right after the election, there was just this intense energy, this intense unrest in the air, all of this fear and so much hate, no matter what side you were on. And so I felt this, and there was just this deep traumatizing of these wounds. And so we've got to get this energy moving. We've got to get this, it has to be released. So some tools to release or process this energy is, like my husband just said, going for a run. So go for a run and hit the pavement and release it as you are running. Something else that is really, really helpful, it's so much more powerful when you use your voice and your body at the same time. It moves energy much more intensely. So one of the things that I do at almost every single one of my retreats or workshops, I do this with my one-on-one clients as well, is do a cathartic release process. And that means that you use your voice and your body to move stagnant energy. I do this in hypnotherapy sessions with my clients as well, where they are literally taking a plastic baton and they're hitting the side of a pillow and they're screaming and crying and yelling at the same time. So they're moving their body and they're getting the energy out through their body as well as vocalizing it. So that moves the energy even more because you're using both your voice and your body, and you've just got to get it out. You do not want this anger and this frustration and this sadness to stay stuck inside of you. It is toxic. It will make you sick. You've got to do something with it. The anger has to be used as a catalyst and a force for something positive. And anger is a very powerful emotion. It is absolutely the correct emotional response to what is going on in the world today. But if you do not use it for something good, it will do more harm to you and the world than good. So please be willing to harness this energy, let the energy move through you. You want to allow all of the emotions that you're feeling to arise and move through you. The only way out is through. You cannot deny it any longer. You can't suppress it any longer. You can't avoid it any longer. You can't distract yourself any longer. It's time to face this energy that has been pent up inside of you. And so going for a run, hitting the pavement, taking a kickboxing class, releasing all of this pent up energy and box it out, kick it out. Use a plastic bat and hit the side of a strong couch or a pillow and scream and make noises and get that frustration out of your body. Move it out of your body. I was going to yoga on Monday. Those of you who are in my Soul on Fire tribe group probably saw my post where Monday I was just like, I don't know what is happening, but meditation is not helping, and I am feeling so off. And energetically, I was just like, I'm feeling so off. I have got to go hit my mat. I knew I had to go to yoga. And so I went to yoga, and one of my teachers specifically, it's like going to church. It's my spiritual church, is being on my mat and listening to her words. We're so aligned. So I love being in that energy and that presence. On my way there, I felt that energy. And it was the same energy I felt in the room on Friday night. And I was like, okay, this needs somewhere to go. I've got to release this. So I screamed and yelled on my drive there. I used my voice to start moving the energy out of me. And then I was in motion and in movement in the yoga class, in the hot room, on my mat, in Shavasana. I cried my eyes out. So releasing anger vocally and hitting the pavement and getting that energy to move you, and then using that energy to harness you into inspired action and using your voice. We can no longer deny this darkness that is in our past, this darkness that is in our culture. We can no longer run from it. We can no longer hide from it. We have to face it. Like Brene Brown said in her video just today, we have to own the story so that it doesn't own us. We have to be willing, especially for me as a white woman, I have to be willing to face and own my privileges. I have to be willing to look at the differences that there are. I can't deny it. You have to be willing to face it. We all do collectively in order to heal it. We can't deny it. We can't deny it. Nobody's free from it. We all play our part in this collective story, and we have to all be willing to face it. We have to own it. So I want to invite you to do that with me, to be willing to look at the prejudice in your own heart, to be willing to look at the racism that you might not even know you have. We all have racism in our hearts. We're all both the sinner and the saint. We are our shadow and our light. All of us, no one is free from it. No one is free from it. And I will always remember the words of one of my teachers, the late Debbie Ford, when she was teaching about the shadow. And she was someone who grew up fighting for social justice, fighting for rights, really, honoring all of the African American community. She, in a million years, she taught. Her life's work was owning the shadow, meaning we are all things. But there was one shadow that she didn't realize that she had and that she never faced, and that was the shadow of racism. And she was teaching in this community in LA where the majority of the people in the audience were Black. And there was one woman in particular who kept showing up, and she was causing so much trouble. And she was questioning everything Debbie was doing, and there was a lot of friction. And Debbie was so frustrated, and she was triggered, and she knew, okay, I'm getting triggered, so there is work for me to do here. And that's the indication that you've got a shadow, is that you are emotionally triggered. You're not just informed by someone's behavior, you are being triggered by someone's behavior. And so if you're triggered by someone's behavior, you've got to own it. And she had to look, and she went through all these different aspects of herself to try to own different traits. And then, she was talking to a friend of hers, and her friend said, "Oh, don't worry about her. She's just racist." And when that friend of hers said that, she was stopped in her tracks because she thought, oh no, there is no way that I have that shadow. Everything she knew about the shadow went out the window. Everything she knew, because that was one thing that there was no way that she was going to accept that she had. No way. She had all the reasons why she was not racist. She knew deep in her heart, there's no way. So she had to go to her hotel room that night and go deep, deep, deep within herself. And when she realized what she first thought in her mind, and this is someone who would have thought she didn't have a racist bone in her body, when that woman was giving her so much trouble, the thought that she had unconsciously was that stupid Black bitch. And when she realized, she didn't even recognize that she said that or what that meant. But when she realized that she had said that, she thought, oh my God, I cannot believe that I have to own this. And so she sat in the mirror and she said to herself, I am racist, until she finally allowed herself to own that aspect of herself that she had been denying. It was going to show up for her, mirrored back to her from someone, until she owned it within herself. And so I know I'm totally going off into something else here, but I think that this work, this body of work, is so important for us to understand and realize right now if we really want to create a different reality. And so when she owned that aspect within herself, and she showed up and she kept teaching, and at the end of that course, that woman raised her hand, and Debbie got anxious, and she was like, oh God, what is she going to say? And she said, you know what? I don't know what happened, but when I first got here, I didn't like you very much. And I don't know what it was, but I want you to know that I think you are amazing. I mean, she basically went from hating her to loving her, because Debbie allowed herself to own that shadow. That is how we heal. That is how we transform our collective shadow. This shadow of privilege, of white privilege, this shadow that we've been carrying around of so many years and decades and generations of discrimination and pain. And it's no one, no color, no race is free from these stories. And there is a lot of pain and a lot of darkness inside of all of us. And we have to be willing to start to first own the story and recognize it and call it out for what it is. Centuries, yes, Amy, centuries. And be willing to then change the conversation. So what is the world your heart knows is possible? That means that we have to heal any sense of separation we feel, no matter who we are looking at. So there's a lot of anger right now towards the members of the Ku Klux Klan. There's a lot of name calling. There are, people who were there to protest. We're calling them white trash. We're calling them all Nazis. We're saying that they're all terrible, evil people. We're dehumanizing them. And as Brene Brown said, when we start dehumanizing anyone, when we start calling names, we're a part of the problem, not the solution. We have to begin to build bridges. Our voices need to be heard. All of our voices need to be heard. We need to seek first to understand rather than be understood. We have to be willing to have courageous conversations and drop our own prejudice and our own judgment and our own ignorance of why we think someone acts and behaves in the way that we do. Because we do not know unless we are that person born in that specific environment, and we are a product of our environment and everything around us that programmed us as we were growing up. So we have got to take the time to listen and start building bridges. And this is not easy work, and it's not going to be easy work. And I'm going to say stuff that's going to trigger people, and people are going to judge me. And I was scared out of my mind to turn on Facebook Live on my personal page, because I am scared out of my mind for people to judge me for what I'm saying and for my voice and for my opinion. But this is bigger than me. I can't not use my voice. I can't not use my platform. I can't not speak to this. I have to rise up in this time and be a voice to help people own this story so that we can finally write a new ending, that we can change our reality, creating a better future for those who are coming after us. And so that was a lot, and I just wanted to check in and see how you all are doing. I just brought up a whole lot of stuff, and hopefully you got some tools that you can use, and I just want to encourage you to just be kind and gentle and love on yourself and spend time reflecting and spend time journaling and really get curious. Bring in, and one of the things I teach about personal growth work is that there are two elements that are super important to the process: curiosity and fascination. So start getting curious with yourself about your own shadows, about the aspects of yourself that you're denying, and you will find those by who triggers you the most. So if it's our president that triggers you the most, you've got some inner work to do. And believe me, he's very triggering. He's very triggering to me, and I had to do a lot of shadow work last year when I was watching the debates. So I hear you, I feel you, and I have work to do to heal any sense of separation I feel with anyone. That's my work. That is my responsibility as someone who is here to bring a new level of consciousness and love on the planet. I have to work to heal any sense of separation I feel. And so I want to just encourage you all to just look deep within yourselves and to be willing to look within your own hurts, your own pain, your own prejudice, your own privilege, and face things as they truly are. And I know this is a super intense time, so just ride the waves and just know that you're not alone. Know that there are a lot of us feeling this. Know that there is a lot of unrest right now. So get outside, get grounded, take a hot bath, meditate, do self-care, go get a massage, journal about what's coming up, release the pent-up energy and emotion by running it out, doing kickboxing, shaking it out. I've got a playlist on Spotify. So if you look up my name, Heather Fantine, on Spotify, you'll find a bunch of different playlists, and they're categorized under the Soul on Fire. So those are for my retreats. And so if you do Soul on Fire release, you will find a list of songs that will help you to move energy through your body. So one of my favorite is Florence and the Machine, Shake It Out. So use that to move energy. And there's another list called Rise. So if you feel like you need to be uplifted, if you feel like you need to rise up above all of the density of these darker, lower emotions, do that. We've got to be calling on the light. We've got to be bringing it down. We've got to get grounded. We have to get aligned. And always, always, always come from love and curiosity, come from compassion and a desire to understand someone else's perspective so that you can help empower them to see it from a more conscious and loving way. Because fear is running those perspectives, not love. And we have to help them to ease the fear that they have that something is going to be taken away, or they're afraid of something, which is why they're acting out of fear. Fear is a call for love. We all want the same things. We all want the same things. We're all brothers and sisters on this planet. So reach out and build bridges in your community. And I love you all, and please join me in my Soul on Fire Tribe group if you want more specific coaching, if you need support, if you want to be inspired. And I will be doing some more structured Facebook Lives in the coming weeks and talking about all of this that's coming up for all of us. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. If you can write out all the stuff that has been coming up for you and maybe do a fire ceremony, so burning that in a fire, burning all of it in the fire and releasing it would be really helpful to do before Monday, before the eclipse. And I'm very curious to see how that eclipse energy changes and shifts what's going on in all of us energetically. Love you all, and have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, thanks, Delise. All right. Bye, everybody.